Hey, so this is basically a remake FTR from videos that I've made a couple years ago, but I need to show more information. It's also really important. I've talked a lot about censorship on this channel, like a lot, excessively, and how big tech has monopolized and all that. And if you take a look at my playlist here, YouTube drama and social media censorship, I actually remade the playlist recently. Here I cover YouTube's insanity, but also just overall censorship through big tech, like about Parler and all that. So check out this playlist if you want to see a lot of the videos I've made and all the different topics I've covered, because as usual I show a lot of facts. And this is another FTR that you're probably going to want to watch. It's called Researching Through Censorship. What this video effectively is trying to teach people now how to do proper research when doing proper research today is almost impossible because of censorship and fake Google results and all that. But overall, I want to talk about how the internet now is a weapon. And I first mentioned this back in, I think, 2018 or 2019, but it needs to be talked about again. The internet is now a weapon. What was the internet's original purpose, right? As we called it years ago when we were kids, the information superhighway, right? We saw the internet as an escape from the craziness of reality, right? The internet used to be a place to not only escape, but also to learn. It was a place for knowledge. Schools use the internet to find their sources when you're doing a project. We all grew up thinking that the internet was merely a way for everybody in the world to expand their minds and their understanding of the world. But if we actually look at how society has regressed over the last 10 or so years, we can see that the internet is actually doing the exact opposite. Because of much higher mainstream media presence on the internet, because of things like memes, because of things like Photoshop, because of things like editing and personal opinions and biased and big tech monopolized working together, and opinions by people who are told to be professionals, right? Because of things like this, we actually have a lower chance of finding real information on the internet than ever before. In fact, what you need to do these days to find true information is do the opposite of what you did 10 years ago, which is move away from the internet. Go out into the real world, talk to people, and do your own analysis and your own exploring of people. And I've said this before a million times, and I'll say it again. The worst thing you can do to attempt to expand your mind is to just type things into Google and read whatever you see. I've proved it before. The Google search results are pre-planned. They are fake, and they've been fake for a long time. Granted, this is not towards everything. It's mainly towards controversial topics and politics where they really zero into fake results. There's a reason why, just like I've said before, kids now who go to university or college are actually finishing college and university dumber than when they started. Check out this video I made right here for proof about that. In this video, I talk about the modern education system, the way it's changed, the inclusion of SJW topics like gender studies and stuff, as well as the inclusion of CRT, critical race theory, to prove to people that when you go to college and university to get an education, you are actually being dumbed down. You are. Watch this video for proof on that. And that's why it's been shown repeatedly that people who leave school actually leave dumber than when they entered school, because what they're being taught is manipulated crap, useless topics, like modern topics like about gender and lies about feminism, CRT, being told white people are evil and all that. That is actually modern education. And you are literally being made to be dumber than when you started school. But Google and the internet actually operates the same way. When they falsify their results to only show you what they want you to see and not what you should see or what you wanted to see based on what you yourself typed in, that's part of it. The internet was taken as a place for knowledge and weaponized because they knew that everybody uses Google, 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 Google all the time, even though there are other options because, again, manipulation. And they use this as an opportunity to create a narrative where they only tell you one side. Everyone sees that one side and believes in it. Again, there are reasons why people still trust the mainstream media. There are reasons why people actually believe that what you're seeing online, for example, if you were to type in like the truth about Black Lives Matter, you're only going to see positive results. You're not going to see the truth about what they really do. If you type in results for things that the mainstream narrative does not like, you're only going to get negative results, regardless of how untrue it is. For instance, you'll get positive results about Black Lives Matter. You'll get positive results about Antifa. You'll get negative results about Donald Trump. You'll get positive results about Joe Biden. Positive results about Hillary Clinton. Negative results about Project Veritas. Positive results about left-wing media. Negative results about right-wing media like Fox. And so on. But none of this is organic. It is all pre-planned to show you only one side of what they want you to see, and people have been drawn in. This is the reason why you'll see people who believe they're intellectual just typing things into Google, selecting the results they find and reading it out loud. These people have actually been discouraged from using their own brains and ability for critical thoughts and analysis to come to conclusions or take various different facts, synthesize them together to come up with logical conclusions. Instead, it's just, hey, I read an article written by somebody else, and because that article appeared on CNN or MSNBC, I have to believe it. Therefore, I'm intellectual. In fact, let me ask all of you a question. Have you ever wondered, or have you just accepted it, have you ever actually thought about why every single time something is stated that the mainstream media doesn't like, that the school system doesn't like, that big tech doesn't like, it's never actually debunked using facts. Ever. In fact, what do? They literally just default to calling whatever it is the list of pre-chosen media narrative approved buzzwords. You're a far-right, neo-Nazi, conspiracy theorist, transphobe, homophobe, fatphobe, Islamophobe, xenophobe, etc. They just take those buzzwords. And people have actually been brainwashed into accepting these list of buzzwords and just plastering them on anything they don't like. There's a reason why you could be talking about food and somebody will call you a transphobe, even though that has nothing to do with transgender people, right? Have you ever, let me ask you yourself, and I know the answer is yes. Any intellectual person who has had a conversation with a stupid person, and the topic can be about anything, it can be about a freaking video game, and the person who is a psycho, an SJW, will start calling you words like white male racist, or transphobe, or homophobe, or, random words, a sexist, a far-right neo-Nazi, conspiracy theorist, all that kind of shit, right? And the words have nothing to do with what you're talking about. But because those are the buzzwords that have been implemented, absorbed into their brain, they just vomit them out on every single topic that they don't like. SJWs and the extremist left do this all the time. And it's because of brainwashing by big tech. That is a literal result of it, which is why I always tell people that if you're having a conversation, whether if it's an innocent conversation or a highly controversial one, and the person you're talking to just resorts to calling you a racist or a sexist for no fucking reason, literally just walk away from the person and say, you're insane, goodbye. We live in a society where being intellectual is tied to just typing something in and reading. And on the flip side, we also live in a society where using your brain, using critical thoughts, looking at different areas and perspective, examining nuance and putting it together, if you do that, people like myself, you are actually considered an uneducated and stupid person. That's the society we live in. And big tech has created that as a way to weaponize the internet and make everybody desensitized to true information. That's why Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter will take facts that the mainstream media doesn't like or approve of and call it misinformation. Meanwhile, they spread misinformation on a daily basis. They'll take things that most people know to be true and call it a conspiracy theory. Meanwhile, months or years later, when the media finally decides that that thing can now be proven true, now all of a sudden, the conspiracy theorists are all of a sudden right. That's why most conspiracy theories end up being true. When I made this original video back in 2019, I referenced this Project Veritas investigation. Google machine learning fairness whistleblower goes public, says, burden lifted off my soul. I suggest you watch this entire video, but let me just show you a clip from it to show you what I'm saying.
This is, well, tell us what this is.
Okay, so this is a blacklist, one of many blacklists that are at Google. This particular blacklist is showing which news sites aren't going to show up underneath the search bar when people are searching on their Android phones. And what they're doing is that they're saying, okay, well, you know, Newsbusters, The Gateway Pundit, National Enquirer, Media Matters, InfoWars, they're not going to appear, you know, on their search results. And they're telling people that, oh, they don't have any blacklist. This is all done, you know, they don't have any political ideology, they don't have any political bias, but it's really clear that they do.
This is a Google employee exposing Google for what they've been doing for years. Absolutely, Google has a political bias, and if you're wondering what it is because you don't understand, it's SJW extremist left wing. That's what their actual political bias is. And he's showing you right here that Google does in fact have a blacklist, which basically means shadow banning, but, you know, in their terms, they have websites that simply won't appear under the results because Google doesn't approve of them. Whether if they think the information is wrong, or they're conspiracy theorists, or far right, or the real answer, which is they show facts that Google and the mainstream media and big tech don't like. The thing is, let me actually teach you people the truth here about it, because you've been manipulated, you probably don't even understand this. And you might be shocked at what I'm going to say. And if you are shocked, that's part of the problem. Being shocked is part of the issue. That shows that your brain has been warped by big tech. But let me tell you, and hopefully you can understand this. Even if the websites that Google shadow bans are wrong, even if they're wrong, they should not be hidden. Why? Because just like with any person or topic of conversation, everybody has the right to speak. Everybody has the right to an opinion or a perspective. Everybody has the right to share ideas, no matter how correct or wrong they are. And you should not be banned or blocked just because a person, or in this case, a Google, like a search engine, doesn't like you. You know, that's taking your personal opinion, even if your opinion's the right one, and using it to push down other people. The sharing of ideas used to be considered a good thing. I know this is shocking, but it actually was considered a good thing, and it still should be. And the fact that most people today don't know this, or don't agree anymore, shows just how bad it's gotten. This guy also digs in deep to the manipulation of Google. I'm not going to show you the video now, of course, but look up this video. There's a title right there. Look it up and listen to what he says, because it's true. Let's take a look at something, by the way. If I was to actually go directly on Google and type in Google fake results, you'll see that there's very little results, if any, about Google faking results. In fact, the very first one is Google cracking down on sites that push fake stuff. Okay, Google's the one cracking down against fake things. Meanwhile, they're the ones pushing it. But all of the results are, for the most part, similar. Either Google going against fake things or fake ads in Google, but very little of it is actually, like, here's one. Don't fall for like Google search results. Like, go, God forbid, one thing. But if we go on Bing and type in the exact same thing, now we actually see more results about Google faking results, like this one. Google results show false election information, or this one right here. You see what I'm saying? Just from that alone, and I'm going to show you more examples, but just from that alone, you can see that Google does fake their results and Bing doesn't. In past videos I've made, I showed other examples that I myself have found proving that Google does in fact fake results. So I'm going to end off this video by showing you those examples. I'm going to be showing you 4. Granted, I've found way more than 4, I just didn't document them. Regardless though, here's 4 examples of millions, for the record. And one more thing I want to show that only came up while I was getting ready for this video is I tried to find this article, right? And in order to find it, I had to go on Bing. So as you can see, in order to find the article, it was the third one down talking about racism decreasing. But if we go to Google and I typed in the same thing by the racism at lowest under Trump, that article is simply not here. So there is yet another example out of the thousands of Google censoring results that they don't want people to see. This is a video I made in 2019. It was back when Tulsi destroyed Hillary Clinton. Now this video is not uploaded to YouTube right now because it's no longer relevant. But one part of the video is relevant, and that part is right here. Check out this video that Tulsi made. Now before I play the video, I want to inform you as well that this video is also blacklisted, because of course Tulsi goes against Hillary Clinton. If you go on YouTube and just type in Tulsi Gabbard boycotts debate, which is almost the title, this video does not come up. I searched through her channel, I couldn't find it very quickly, so I went to Bing, typed in Tulsi Gabbard boycotts debate, and this video popped up instantly. So there you go again, Google doing their usual work of blacklisting anything that they don't like. But here's some more proof. Anyone remember this video? It's on my YouTube channel right now. It's when I made the video talking about Jeffrey Epstein's suicide. And there's an amazing part of the video, which is right here. Even while I was researching for this very video, I typed in on Google and Bing. So you can see when I was researching for that video, I typed in on Google Bill Clinton on Epstein's plane, and Google only had results for Trump because they were falsifying the results. This was 2019 while Trump was still president. Bill Clinton on Epstein's plane, and Google only came up with results. Now, when I typed the exact same thing on Bing, the results were actually about Bill Clinton. So if you don't get it, because Trump was president, they falsified the results to only be about Trump because they were trying to manipulate people. You understand? And for proof, I'm going to show you what the results show now. Today is February 6th, 2021. Trump is no longer president. Check it out. So here's the rest of the clip. Involving Trump. But when I looked at Bing with the exact same typing in like search thing, I was suddenly greeted with all of the results pertaining to what I actually typed in about Bill Clinton. Now, let's see what happens in 2021. Bill Clinton on Epstein's plane. Oh, look, all of a sudden, it's back to Bill Clinton. The same results as Bing. Bing shows Bill Clinton just like it did before, but Google showed Trump before, and now it shows Bill. So what Google is doing for all you uneducated fucktards, they falsify the results to show you negative things about the people that they don't like. If it's political, they'll put up fake results about Trump, even if you didn't actually search for Trump. And when it's no longer valid, like Trump not being president anymore, they put the results back to what they are supposed to be to hide the fact that they changed it to begin with. This one I don't have proof of because it was something that I just looked up randomly, but when I was doing research for my election fraud video, right? This was before, like quite a bit actually before Biden won, because I made the election fraud video before Biden won, obviously. I typed in Joe Biden groping kids in the Oval Office, right? You know how he was always sniffing hair, touching hair, grabbing little girls' boobs and all this disgusting stuff and groping them? Well, if you type that in, even on Google, there are some results like video compilations of him doing this. However, when I was researching, a video compilation made by CNN came up. Apparently, like 5 years ago, when he wasn't running, the video was made by CNN because they were okay with talking shit about him, or telling the truth anyway. But then, as soon as he announced his presidency, that he was going to run, I believe the video was still up, but I couldn't find it in the results. And when I went to Bing, the video popped up. When I look now, the video's gone entirely. Even if I go on Bing, even if I go on Google, even if I go on the actual CNN YouTube channel and scroll through all their Joe Biden videos, it's not there. So it went from being advertised on Google to hidden by Google when he announced his presidency, and then deleted entirely when he won. If someone ever tells you again that Google does not fake the results, show them this video. Stupid people.